We will start, sir. Slowly people will come and join.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Very good morning to all. It is our great pleasure to welcome you all to the wonderful Knowledge 4.0 webinar series. So this webinar series is being conducted to enhance the knowledge of faculty members, researchers, and students community. So far, with this forum, we have conducted more than 175 webinars and 250 expert members have come and shared their valuable sessions. This webinar series is being conducted in different scenarios under the guidance of our Honorable Chairman, Sri P. Sriram, who is one of the well-known first-generation entrepreneur, industrialist, and managing director of MK Group of Companies. The lockdown is only for the nation and worldwide, but there is no lockdown for learning. By keeping this as motto, Chennai Institute of Technology is taking tremendous effort in conducting this webinar series. The webinar series is conducted in different scenarios such as technical webinar series, research webinar series, career guidance webinar series, innovative talk webinar series, and alumni webinar series. Along with this webinar series, we are also conducting national and international seminars, national and international workshops, and faculty development programs and conferences. Today we have Karthikeyan sir to deliver the lecture on digital radiography with us. Primarily, I welcome you for this wonderful forum, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
And Chennai Institute of Technology was established in the year 2010. Now, our institute is being within top 10 among all other private engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu. Chennai Institute of Technology follows unique teaching and learning process, which helps us to put our students in core companies, to make them to study in national, international reputed universities, and to become entrepreneurs. So it is our great pleasure to welcome you all the participants. And now I am very happy to introduce our today expert, Karthikeyan sir. So Karthikeyan sir completed his B Mechanical Engineering from MEPCO Salang Engineering College, Sivagasi in the 1996. Then he has continued his Master of Business Administration in Pavia University and he has completed in the year 1998. And currently he is pursuing PhD in Management at Pavia University. And he has, when career is concerned, he has started his career as a management training in Servali Engineering Industry Limited in the year 1998, and he was there up to 1999. Then he joined in Mofil Peace Co. Limited as an application engineer. He has faced various roles, and he was the vice president at Mandra Engineering and Marketing Private Limited. Then he was the partner and chief innovator of Aditya Medical Systems, and he was the director of Finserva Financial Solutions Limited. At present, he is the director of Karma Innovations and Solutions Private Limited. So, Mr. Karthikeyan Javagar sir is one of the excellent person having passion about research, and he is morely concerned in agriculture research also. It is our great pleasure to welcome you for this wonderful forum, sir. And let me request you to say the session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Dinagaran and team Chennai Institute of Technology for this opportunity. So this is my core business today. So which is basically into industrial digital radiography. So since we are talking about an hour session, let me quickly jump into the presentation proper. So we are based out of Coimbatore, and we are currently the only Indian manufacturer for these equipments. We'll discuss about what it is as the session proceeds. So the first part is about digital radiography, where it's basically to do with X-rays. So so this is the electromagnetic spectrum. We are actually the visible spectrum is a very short band, and on the other side on one side you have the infrared and microwave bands, and other side you have the ultraviolet, X-rays, and the other extension, which is the gamma rays. So we are working in the X-rays band currently, and any of the properties of a electromagnetic wave is applicable for X-rays also. And as researchers, you would know that Röntgen got the first Nobel Prize in 1901 for the discovery of X-rays. So that is how it is. So what are these X-rays, and how is it used for industrial application? And the first question that comes up to our mind is once we talk about X-rays is it safe for usage? And one of the questions is, okay, you're talking about engineering goods and maybe even food, as Dr. Dinakaran mentioned. So will it linger? Is it harmful for me after I do an inspection using the X-rays? Answer is no. They don't linger. They are like any other electromagnetic wave. They cannot linger. So they cannot, basically meaning they don't stay back in the object that is being inspected. And what we are using are all electrically generated X-rays. So the principle right from the day that Röntgen discovered this to what we are using today is still the same. We are accelerating electrons at a very high velocity, and once they are suddenly stopped at the other end, part of their energy is converted into X-rays. Rest is dissipated as heat. So it is this part which is what we are using for the inspection part. So how does X-ray help with the inspection? X-rays has a property to penetrate different objects to different extents. So based on this particular property, we are able to check for internal defects of components. So imagine this. Now being the season for mangoes, I've just taken up a mango. This is an X-ray of a mango. So if you see it, look at this particular area, you will find that there is a small patch inside. It is not extended to the surface, but there is some internal damage that we see in this mango. So when we cut it open and see, we can see that there is an internal tissue damage. Similar thing is what we do for any of the industrial goods also, be it electronics, be it castings, which is the typical application for industrial radiography. And here we are talking about not just industrial radiography, but industrial digital radiography, where we are talking about not using any films or chemicals, and so that way this is completely green. And the biggest advantage that we are looking at is that we can see X-ray images as a video and stop and see and start and all those things as per your wish. So let me share this video quickly. It's a very short video. There's a component where we are. Is the video getting shared? Yeah. Okay. So we can see all these dots, which are actually the defects. And now the operator is rotating the component. We can see that some of these defects, which were point defects, once we rotate, we are able to see that they are actually much larger blowholes kind of things. So we can actually see that as a video itself. So that is the biggest advantage when we are looking at industrial radiography. So we can have imaging done dynamically, and we can see it as a video. So the throughput for these inspection methods are very high. We have some of our customers who are even checking something like 2,500 components every day, which is next to impossible for film-based radiography. And this is one of the specialties of Karma Innovations, where we are able to generate X-ray images of very high clarity, and where it does not require any specialized skills or knowledge or other tools for checking of the defects. So let me take one typical example. These are solar fuses which come up into those solar applications, and these are getting manufactured in Pondicherry. And this company is one of the world leaders. It was earlier Cooper Busman, taken over by Eaton today. And they manufacture something like 150,000 pieces of these fuses every day. We can see the size there, about approximately 35 mm in length. It is completely sealed because these are these will face the complete weather conditions in open conditions in the solar panels, which are completely exposed to the nature. So their life has to be pretty good, and they need to fail only when it is required. So all these are X-ray. These are the X-ray images of some of these components. You can look at how well the the fuses can be, fuse wires can be seen inside. Very high-end fuses. Normally, we would have seen fuses of this type only, where you have only one wire running in between. But here you find some of those hexagonal ones, and here you have the third type, which is again squarish, and connectors are at the other end. So once you seal all these things, you will never be able to see what is inside and how to inspect these. So that way, X-rays are the only ways to check for these components. And if we can see keenly, you would find that some of these hexagonal parts are a bit more darker, like this particular one in this fuse, or this particular one in this fuse. The reason is there is some special alloy which is deposited there based on the rating of that fuse. So one of the inspection points for these people is that, and you would find this darker dot here also, one here also. So the operator is supposed to, the inspector of this particular component is supposed to check whether you have at least one of these dots, darker dots, and there should be actually ideally be only one, because if there's more than one, then this alloy is getting wasted. And if there is no such dot, then the component has to be rejected, because it may not break when the amperage is more. So that is the testing condition. But again, the question now comes up: what do you do when you need to check 150,000 pieces every day on 3 shifts basis? Will there not be operator fatigue? What if he passes something a defective component as accepted? Or what happens if he keeps rejecting good components? So I don't want any false positive or the false negative. One will damage my brand. The other one will reduce my productivity in a big way. So I don't want either a false positive or a false negative. So then, with the digital radiography, we can do something like this: pseudo coloring. Compare these images, which is typical gray X-ray image. Compare this. Isn't this much more easier to view and check and take a decision? So we can avoid false positives or false negatives. We can be sure our accuracy of diagnosis can be much better in terms of defect identification. The other very important part that we have really worked on this product is to de-skill the entire operation itself. So what we today say is that give me a 10th pass person and I can train him to be a fantastic X-ray machine operator. I've used a Superman because he's the one supposed to have X-ray vision and all those things. So we can literally give them the X-ray vision kind of a thing. So this is what we mean. So not even a 10th pass person. This is basically a X-ray of a coconut. This is something that typically is a big industry near Coimbatore, in and around Coimbatore. Of course, Pollachi, which is the world's largest coconut production center, is just 30-35 kilometers from our city. So we have been working on this particular area. In fact, I would welcome any of you researchers to also to partner with us on making this into a final product. What we can see here is that we can see the level to which water is there inside the coconut. We can see the husk and all, and we can also see the thickness of the pulp which is inside. I'm sure as people who have bought coconut for our families, we would have found that this tapping and doing all those things, it really don't serve the purpose. We think it is a fantastic coconut for making chutneys, but what we get is only the coconut water inside. But at the same time, on the roadside, we wanted the tender coconut water, but what you get is actually the mature coconut. So how do I classify these? Is there a way to do that? So X-rays can serve you that purpose. This will also help the farmers also to improve their income. Today, the traders, what they are doing is they are giving some flat rate, something like 2 rupees, 3 rupees, like that to the farmer. In fact, what we buy at 30 rupees and 40 rupees in at our roadsides in terms of the tender coconut, actually at the farm gate, they get only around 3 rupees. That is because we don't know what is inside. Now, once we classify the coconut saying, yes, this is pulpy, yes, this is watery, then the farmer himself can demand much better price. And how can a farmer work on this? How can he classify? Again, pseudocoloring. Now you know, in fact, this particular algorithm sat in very, very well, because even the husk is colored green, the water is colored blue, and the pulp, which is what I want, is colored green. So make the job of the farmer or the farmhand so much more easier to identify and classify the part under inspection. So now coming into the holistic thing, who actually benefits from digital radiography? Anybody from the industry. All parts, all departments in the industry, in fact, benefit from it. We'll look at this in detail, right from marketing to production, the quality department, of course, because this machine is going to be with them, the R&D department, and ultimately, yes, the CEO too. So the marketing team, how does it help the marketing team? Yes, reason is most of the high-end automobile companies, buyers, the OEMs, they are today insisting on much better quality products from their level tier 1 and tier 2 partners, vendors. Reason being, the operating conditions of today's machines are at much higher level. Thanks to the roads that the governments have been working on, our comfortable average speed for going to cities once you touch the highways is nothing less than 100 kilometers. This is for self-driven vehicles. So the operating condition of these vehicles are significantly higher, and that demands much better quality of the product too, the components too. So for the marketing team, one, it boosts the confidence of the buyer that yes, I can check for internal defects and I can give you a quality product. So that is how the marketing team can boost the confidence. Plus, today many of the OEMs have made this as mandatory as part of the checklist to qualify a vendor itself. So at least to tick that box, you need one model of a digital radiography machine. And the other thing is, many times our Indian manufacturers of castings, they want to pluck only the low-hanging fruits, easier components and easier things only. So they find it very difficult to take orders for very complicated and more difficult components from the same customer. So today, using these X-ray machines, now we can go for more depth and breadth of the orders. So that helps the marketing team in a very significant manner. And production team, yes, I can reduce inventory in a significant manner, because today if you are going in for a film-based radiography, it takes at least 2 to 3 days for you to get back the report saying, yes, I've tested some samples, statistical sampling, I've taken some samples, I've tested it. Now you can either accept the batch or reject it. Even to get just that result, it takes 2 to 3 days. So what happens to my production for all these days? Can I stop my machine? Definitely not. So I keep running the machine. So this entire 2 to 3 days of production is a suspense production. I don't know whether it is accepted or rejected. Plus, they're all in stock. Whereas if you have a digital radiography machine inside your factory, then you can take instantaneous decisions. Once it's shot, there's a die casting machine. Yes, I take a few shots, inspect it, then go there. If it is reject, fine tune the machine, come back, get it done, and then go back. So you can actually go in for quality assurance, not just quality checking, which is the next level of demand from any of the industry. So the setup time when you are going in for tool change, or today we talk about 1 minute die change. So it's what happens after the die change. You need to prove it that it conforms to norms. So you have changed the die, but so what? If it is not right, it doesn't give the, how do I check whether the quality is okay or not? So for this, you need the digital radiography machine inside your floor. So this again is a typical captured image of the component that we saw earlier as a video. So all these are the defects in these components. So once you have identified the defects, you can go back to your machine, fine tune the parameters to ensure that these defects don't occur in the next lot of production. And whatever was rejected can go back to remelting. So that is how quickly you can get things done. The quality team, yes, you get a quick feedback. 100% inspection is possible. This again is a demand from many of the automobile OEMs. We have customers who are supplying to BMW, Volkswagen vendors are using our machines, Bajaj, Hero Motors. Almost all the Indian automobile component manufacturers, parts manufacturers are using our machines, where 100% inspection is mandatory for certain critical components. So here you can do that quickly and efficiently in terms of economic parameters too, because here you don't have any consumables except for electrical power consumption. And even for a machine here, we are talking about something like 5 kilowatts to 10 kilowatts of maximum connected load. It is not even that of a single CNC machine. Power consumption is significantly less. So the operating cost is insignificant. So you can really have very quick break even for that too. And you don't need a very costly resource person to take care of this. And fatigue we have already discussed in detail. R&D team, yes, we have had examples from our customers' place where trial and errors, and typically for a casting, what people do in terms of checking is to take it up and cut it and then see whether the defects are there or not. So things which could not be proven and which had 80% reject rate after 120 days of trial and error, we could get it done in just 3 days of 100% accepted parts. So that is the significant improvement that we can bring to components which are under development for different industries. And again, if you're talking about insert molded parts like plastic components with either electrical inserts or connectors and things like that, this becomes the only way to check for it. I'll show you one example too. So this is a solenoid which was used in pneumatic applications. So here the earlier inspection method was there are 4 wires going in, you will connect all those 4 wires, check whether it is working or not, and those kind of things. And in the case of a failure, you'll just throw it off. But there was no means to exactly identify what was the root cause for the failure. You know it's failed, fine. But how do I prevent the failure from occurring again? For that, I need a root cause. I need to do a root cause analysis. There was no way of doing it. But once we started using the X-ray machines, then we could identify where the problem is. If you can see here, this is a good part. And in this defective part, you will find that this wire has broken off. The soldering has left that particular coil, this thing. You won't be able to find this without the X-ray machine. You can, of course, break this and try it. But being an insert molded part, if you break it, when you are breaking it itself, there can be subsequent damages. So you don't know whether this disconnection happened while you were breaking it, or was it there as part of the component itself. So those are the advantages when we are going in for digital radiography. And most important for the CEOs and owners of the organization, peace of mind. You can be sure that whatever components that are leaving your factory are 100% sure. And when there are product recalls and other things, your products are not going to be affected by this in either litigations or consumer court related things. We have had cases where the largest manufacturer of steering wheels and inserts of the world, a company called Takata of Japan, they had to go in for liquidation because of consumer court litigations, because of failure in some of their components which were supplied 8 years before the failure occurred. So this is the kind of criticality of these components which are going into typically the automobile zones. So for some defects which happened 8 years ago, as a CEO, you are facing problems today and you are forced to close down your company. Imagine the plight of the CEO. Whereas with these kind of digital radiography machines, the CEO can have complete peace of mind that yes, what I'm supplying is of good quality, and I have records which are digital in form, which can prove in the court of law that yes, whatever problems have occurred is not because of my machine. So I am not the cause for whatever failure has occurred at the consumer's end. And specific to digital radiography, it cannot happen that you have one machine and it takes care of the entire requirements of the entire industry, because the components, being an industry oriented thing, I mean, there are so many changes, customizations that you will have to do. No two components are going to be the same in terms of size, shape, weight, material. So many things that we are looking at, and based on the metal, X-ray will have different properties in terms of its opacity to different metals, different plastics, and the level of inspection that you want to do. Is it at a micro level? Is it at a macro level? There's so many things that we need to look at before we can customize, before we can make a machine. And again, based on the number of effects that you have, again, the volume, based on the volume to be checked, again, you definitely need to look at different options. Do we need to have automatic defect recognition and ejection, or will it do to just have manual detection and customization? And sometimes we might need to even integrate a robotic arm to come from inside the machine, take the component in, and then once the inspection is over, put it on some other conveyor or on a reject bin. So many customizations can be and will need to be done based on the customer's need. This is a typical lab model which can be used in either educational institutions or in companies where you need to do only statistical testing. Let's say one component to be checked for every pouring kind or every lot which is melted in a furnace kind of thing, or every setting or a die change kind of setups. So typically a lab model. In fact, there are a few educational institutions too which have bought this particular machine for their research and paper publications. And this was our very first machine, and this is the evolution of our machine, the second generation. And this is our current model, which is a highly professional one. And today this machine of ours is CE certified, so which is one of the highest European standards for product evaluation. So we can export this machine to any part of the world. These machines we make for very large components. So instead of a typical window which will open and where you can keep a component for something like 10 kgs of weights for these machines, here we can inspect for components which go up to even 100 kgs for very large components. These are conveyorized systems, typically for food inspection. This was made for suji or rava, to check for foreign bodies in suji. So in terms of our history of Karma Innovations, as I mentioned earlier, we are the first and even today the only Indian manufacturer of industrial radiography machines. There are some who are importing machines, and there are the OEMs from including GE who import and then customize this. In fact, we are currently working with GE also for serving their clients. And in terms of our history, we were funded by DSIR, Department of Science and Industrial Research, and Technology Development Board. Both of them are Government of India organizations. In fact, TDB is an organization which funds for import substitution of products. I was personally incubated at TrekStep, Trichy REC Science and Technology Entrepreneur Park at NIT Trichy from 2007 to 2011. That is where this product was researched, developed, and made into a commercial product. But again, Coimbatore being my hometown, I came back to Coimbatore for the manufacturing. And as proof of the research and validation of the research, I went on to win the DST Lockheed Martin India Innovation Growth Program, where the technology validation was done by IC Squared Institute of University of Texas at Austin. This was a across the world validation of the technology in terms of how it works. Is it at par or sometimes even better than what is there currently in the world? And the program coordinator was FICCI, New Delhi. And this is me, and with Dr. Ray Johnson, who was the technical director of Lockheed Martin Corporation. He himself is a PhD in aerospace applications. So in terms of our specialty, the question would come up as to why Bifirm Karma. Our images are benchmarked with the best in the world in terms of different calibration parameters given by ASTM, American Society for Test and Measurements. And we can integrate different reference radiographies into this. We have customized software which is conformed to ASTM standards, which is part of our machine itself. These are some of the image quality parameters which shows we are among the best in the world. Again, being made in the country and also being funded by the government of India. In fact, I used to get these letters for the research grant, which used to say on the authority of the and approval of the President of India, so much of rupees is being sent to you. So it was a matter of pride and also big responsibility which I felt that I'm carrying on my shoulders. So that way, we are not we are benchmarking our quality with respect to the best in the world, but we are not benchmarking the price with the best of the world. In terms of price, we are still highly competitive. We don't want to use theirs as benchmark. We are only going. We are looking at what is it that an Indian customer can afford and for us to survive. That is what is our benchmark in terms of our machine pricing. Because having taken money for research from the citizens of our country, it is our responsibility to give it back too. So that way, we are significantly affordable in terms of price, sometimes saving as much as 50% compared to our nearest competitor, imported competitor, not compromising on the quality. The other biggest advantage that we have being made in our own country is in terms of the servicing part, because many of these imported machines they are made in Germany, of course, being Ronjan's home country. Even today, many of the worldwide X-ray manufacturing companies have their base in Germany itself. And for servicing, you will have to send those parts again back to Germany to get it serviced and come back. So whereas we as a manufacturer, we don't have to shift it to other countries, and we don't have to change the whole setup. We can just replace the failed part alone. So that way, our cost of servicing can be significantly less. So the lifetime cost of a machine is very less for our users, which is a big advantage for our customers. So that's it from my side, and I think we can go in for questions. I see a lot of questions coming up, so I'll spare more time for answering your queries.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So thank you. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
So I believe that this will induce the minds of the participants, irrespective of students, researchers, and faculty,
Yeah.
to continue the research of in the particular research of agriculture or the related areas.
That is true.
And you have mentioned that DSIR, you have funded by DSIR, and
Correct.
we are also happy to say that Chennai Institute of Technology is also one of the recognized institute by DSIR, Department of Scientific and Basic Research. And thank you so much for your valuable time, sir. And let me look into the this one questions.
Yes.
Ms. Amalini had asked one question: how to identify that there is a damage in digital? But how to identify the damage by using digital radiography?
Yeah, I'll in fact have one of such image in the presentation itself. Let me go back to that. Oops, the slides are moving a bit too slow for me. Can I go to a specific slide a bit more faster, sir? Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
These are actually the defects. See, the material looks gray and black because X-rays have not penetrated through that. And here, these white patches are the defects because there is a air gap inside, and which should not have been there. And more X-rays are passing through because it is more of air. So aluminum, this is an aluminum component. Aluminum absorbs more of X-rays, and air permits more of X-rays. So when there is air, there is more X-ray penetration there, more X-ray passage through that area. So it appears more whiter. So that is how you detect it. This is the opposite of what you see in your medical films, because there you are seeing a negative. Here we are looking at positives. So when you're looking at a negative, your bone will be looking white, which basically means it has not passed through, but it's a negative. Here we are looking at positives. So if it passes through, then it appears white. And we can invert this also. That is not an issue. So somebody who has only been seeing medical X-rays, you can invert this image and then look at it. But industrial radiography is always they are always positive images. We don't look at negative images.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Yan Shalvakumar asked one question.
Yes.
Sir, can you differentiate the X-ray intensity for metals and eatable items? And
Yeah,
also,
so-
can you
Okay.
tell me some research focus on digital radiography?
Okay, so to answer the first part, the normally food-based items, they generally do not require high intensity X-ray image for X-ray source for penetrating through. Typically, we are talking about somewhere around 80 kV, 90 kV, anything less than 125 kV for your food-based applications. Of course, it should not be wet. So if it is a wet or liquidy kind of a substance, then you need more penetration, because water tends to absorb more X-rays. So water is more opaque to X-rays. So if it is a dry thing like masalas or rava or things like that, then you don't need much of X-ray penetration capabilities. Whereas when you are looking at industrial, we start at 160 kV. Some of those lab and of course other applications, we can look at 125 kV for industrial applications too. But typically when we are talking about industrial radiography, we are talking about 160 kV to begin with. So you need much higher energy levels for industrial applications. But again, if you are looking at PCB inspection, then we don't need such intense X-ray beams, but we need more finer focal source. So there are micro or mini focal sources which can be used for checking for very small levels of defects. So that is the difference that you have there. In terms of research, yes, image classification, because that is again a big requirement for industrial radiography, particularly for automated inspection of components. Today we don't have any generic inspection capability algorithm. If you give me this particular component, then I can program one for this particular component and this particular view. But we are looking at areas where we can have one generic thing saying, okay, this is level 2, this is level 3, level 4 kind of things. So that is one area where we can look at research. And if you are interested, we can partner with you. We can work together from the industry. We can support you with the images and other standards and other things. And if you're good with your AI and machine learning algorithms, we can work together. I'm game for that. In fact, we are in touch, and we'll shortly be starting some work with Coimbatore, our Chennai Institute of Technology team also. And it's not a one-off research. It's going to be an ongoing research. So I would welcome anybody to join us with that. In fact, I was discussing with Dr. Dhiranagaran earlier also, where this is not something that would end, like that coconut application or a mango application. These are ongoing requirements from the industry. So if you are really interested in research related to digital radiography, we are game. So you can be in touch with me at a later point in time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And another question asked by Manoj. So Manoj,
yes.
Sir, is it possible to use digital radiography in medical fields for checking the fractures?
Yes, yes, they're being used. In fact, the initial development for digital radiography was in the medical application. In fact, my research at NIT also was related to medical applications. But later, being a mechanical engineer, I found the language and the customization that I could do more appropriate for industrial application. So I shifted to industrial applications. Otherwise, the origin of digital radiography, the initial applications for digital radiography were all in the medical field only.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. And sir, Mr. Kaurav Kumar asked one question.
Yes.
Sir, what about the effect of harmful rays on human beings?
Yes. See, that is another important question that you asked. See, X-rays are harmful for living tissues. They are ionizing radiations, so they are harmful for human tissues, and that is where the shielding comes up. We don't supply machines which are unshielded. We don't supply the separate source. So all our machines are self-shielded machines, which basically means the X-rays will not leave this internal chamber of this machine. In fact, that adds to the cost of the machine also significantly, but we don't want to compromise on that because it's to do with human life and values. Another problem here is that X-rays, you won't know that you are being exposed to harmful rays because they're invisible. So the shielding, we take extraordinary care. Plus, there are some handheld sensors we can check for the radiation. So what we advise users is that every day when you are starting the machine, switch on the X-ray machine and go around the machine with the sensor, with the handheld survey meter to ensure that there is no leakage, and then only go in for your actual operation. So that way, all our machines are user friendly and user safe. You can stand right next to it. Still, you are not exposed to X-rays. They are all self-shielded X-ray machines, digital radiography machines.
Yes, sir. Great, sir. Great.
I appreciate that question. It's a very useful question.
Sir, Ms. Madhu asked one question. Sir, is it possible to say something on pseudo coloring?
Yeah, pseudo coloring is actually not approved by ASTM or any of the other standards. Let me put that first. Because if you are looking at any of these ASTM standards or Volkswagen standards, BMW standards, there is no mention of pseudo coloring. In fact, they will not, because you are supposed to look at only the grayscale images. But the thing is, when I'm looking at some of our customers, when we are looking at 150,000 pieces to be checked in a day, and when we are looking at 2,500 components in different angles to be checked in a day, it is practically not possible to inspect them without significant false positives and false negatives because of the operator fatigue. So that is where we introduce the pseudo coloring option, which is basically an algorithm which will, based on the gray scales that we have, convert them into color images, and that helps the operator to just sort them out. So pseudo coloring can be used basically for quickly sorting the components into good and bad. And later, a senior person with all the knowledge will come up and then analyze those rejected components for the root cause and then take action on that. So pseudo coloring is basically to enhance the efficiency of inspection. It is not for the root cause analysis, or it is not for reporting to your OEM, but basically to enhance your speed of operations.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And another one question asked by Mr. Sri Venkat Rami Reddy. Sir, is there any difference between digital radiography and computer radiography?
Again, fantastic question, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes,
maybe you have already worked on those. That's why that particular question itself, I appreciate that. See, the computerized radiography was the earliest generations of conversion of X-rays into digital form. So there you used to have a plate where you expose the component or the X-rays, take this plate, put it into a machine, and then that processes that plate, and then out comes the image. And while during the process, the imprinted X-ray image is also neutralized, so it comes back as a reusable plate. So that is computerized radiography, or CR as it is called, CR. So even today, most of the medical applications, they are still using only the CR because it is much more cheaper for initial installation, but the operating cost, its maintenance and other things are pretty high. So, and it is the time it takes is significantly high because it's almost like your film radiography only. You carry the plate to different places, expose it, then bring the plate back to your machine and then do the analysis. And that machine is pretty bulky. You cannot carry that processing machine to all the places. So it has its own limitations and operating cycles and in terms of time it takes for analysis. Using a CR, you cannot do this inspection of 2000 components in a day or 2500 components in a day. Whereas DR is direct radiography or digital radiography, where the plate continuously throws the image onto your screen. So we can see it as a video, like the earlier video that I showed. So you can manipulate the component in different angles, and you can actually have very high productivity. And for new users, DR is the only option, because I don't know, particularly when it's an R&D or a new user, I don't know where the defects are. So how do I know in what particular angle I need to take the X-ray? So I need to manipulate the component in different angles, tilt it, rotate it, move it up and down and all that. And then only I can know where the actual defect, exact defect is. So all that can be done using your digital radiography. Digital radiography is the latest cutting edge technology which is there in the market. CR is much older technology. Thank you for that question, sir.
Sir, great, sir. Thank you. Sir, we have still few questions I will take.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Samshan Nesaraj asked one question. To study the flaws in electronic items,
Okay.
any other special training is required to carry out by industrial radiography, sir?
Not necessarily, sir, because the defects can be seen very quickly, so, and very significantly, like in this fuse that I showed. You don't need much of skill to check whether the defects are there or not. And we can zoom into those images, and all those advantages are there. Once it becomes digital, you can do all those manipulations on the image. So that becomes a big advantage. So you actually really don't need much of skills as such if you are looking at digital radiography. And being a research oriented company, we have added a lot of software based additions to enhance these defects. See, what we have done is exactly the opposite of the marriage photographer, what they do. A marriage photographer takes my image and patches me out, and all the defects that I have, they're all masked out and made to look beautiful. Whereas what we do is the exact opposite of that. Even if I find a small variation in that particular image, I will try to blow it up and show it as a significant thing. So that way, and there are multiple algorithms and overlapping things. So we create a funnel where different things are enhanced at different levels without loss of clarity or required features, and then show it to the operator so that he or she can quickly identify what the defects are and the extent to which the defects are. Ideally speaking, you would not need any significant analyzing skills.
Yes, sir. Great, sir. Great. And Mr. Sanmuga Prabhu asked one question, sir.
Yes.
Is there any possibility of using radiography in tea industry?
Yes, in fact, we had given a few proposals. Of course, it didn't take off immediately, though. But there are these tea bag manufacturers where you find some of those pins in certain tea bags. And there are certain places, particularly with the green tea, where there is not much of processing. There may be some twigs inside, along with the leaves. You might find some twigs. So we had some inquiries where people wanted to check and remove those bags with the twigs. It should have only the leaves, and twigs had to be identified and taken away. Yes, it is possible. We have a solution for that also.
Okay.
Almost any industry, for that matter, can use digital radiography. Only thing is in terms of their volumes to be analyzed and how significant they want to improve their quality and how they want to position themselves in the market. That is the question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Spices, again, spices we are regularly inspecting. We do it as a service. In fact, we have a machine in our factory itself for servicing and other things. So we have checked for chili flakes, what you use as pizza toppings and things like that, where we had to check for 25 kg bags which were meant for export, to check for stones, insects, foreign bodies like plastic components, or even copra, coconut, not copra, the cheratai as we call it, those parts which are getting mingled as part of the food particles. So all these will be rejected, and if they are not there, then we'll say it is okay, X-ray inspected, and then pass it on for exports. So there are multiple applications related to food.
Okay, sir. Great, sir. Thank you. And sir, Miss Sauparniga asked one question. Which
Yes.
metal seals? You told that the machineries are sealed for the radiation.
Yes.
What is the metal which seals that?
Using for shielding. Okay. We used protected lead, because lead is one of the best metals for preventing X-rays from going out. But again, lead itself has certain very poor mechanical properties. So we use lead sandwiched between steel and properly coated lead again. So lead also has to go through certain treatment, because lead which is exposed to the atmosphere oxidizes and it forms a dust which is harmful for human beings. So first we protect the lead and then give it strength by sandwiching it between ferrous sheets, protect them again, and then put it into our machine. It's a very complicated process.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And we will take the last question, sir. Mr. Muhammad asked one question.
Yes.
Sir, is there any disadvantage of this digital radiography?
Yes, there are some also. Typically the application, in fact, yesterday we were talking with one of our prospective users of X-ray, where they had a 7.5-ton casting, and there is a defect in one particular area. How do I check this? Was the question. So there, I cannot use digital radiography, or at least the machine that I have. Reason is that casting itself is so huge and so heavy, it cannot go into my machine. The first part. The other thing is, our sensors, they are electronic sensors, so they cannot be bent, they cannot be made molded or other things. Whereas when I use a film and cobalt radioactive source, I'm not even talking about X-rays, we are talking about radioactive isotopes. So using cobalt as the source for the gamma rays or X-rays, and using film, I can inspect that particular component or that casting which weighs 7.5 tons. So even today, there are applications where you still need to use the not so user-friendly cobalt and iridium, user-friendly in the sense of safety precautions that I need to think of, and film. So we are not at any point in time going to throw away the usage of films and say everything is going to become digital. No, there will still continue certain areas where you still need to use film-based radiography, and there are applications where only cobalt and iridium can still serve the purpose. And particularly, again, very intricate areas like one particular application came up where people are talking about inspection of pipes in a submarine. So how do I take a portable radioactive source, X-ray machine into that particular place? Impossible, because as you know, submarines are, again, they are made very compact, and this thing, there's no space to waste. So again, you would need to use radioactive isotopes, which can, using a pigtail, you can take it into different places and then place it there, and then have a film at the other end and have the exposure done. So there are still applications where only the traditional old radiography will still be strong. But I could say 90% of the application will shift to DR, the digital radiography, and 10% will continue to use the other areas. And one particular field where even the cobalt and other things are replaced are by using something called as a betatron. So we are using X-rays, where today I can go up to 420 kV in tie-up with other companies. What we manufacture, our own end, is up to 250 kV. More than that, we have tie-ups, international tie-ups, with which we can go up to 420 kilovolts in terms of the X-ray energy. But there are betatrons which can go up to 11 megavolts, which is far higher than what a cobalt 60 source can give. So using those megavolts range betatrons, we can even penetrate 300 mm of steel. So there are different applications which warrant different requirements. So like in any this thing, there are limitations for any application. As engineers, it is for us to find the appropriate tool to solve our specific problem. Thanks for that question. It was a valuable one where I can add more value. Any other questions, sir? I thought I'll just show the contact details.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, this is my contact detail. So if any of you would like to be in touch, you can.
So people have asked your contact also, and I shared this also, sir. I shared this to them, and let me.
I see one question from Mr. Raja Mohan. How can you measure the accuracy of this radiography? Yes, there are some self-calibration systems which are used in film-based radiography. There is a detailed calibration system which is advised by ASTM for calibration of our sensors. So based on that, we go in for our accuracy. In fact, the slide that I showed where we talked about comparable with the best in the world, that is actually a calibration process, which talks about what is the smallest component defect that we can see in our images.
Yes,
all these are based on standards. There are no arbitrary systems. All these are as per approved standards which are used in the world.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so much. Sir, can we come out from slideshow?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Dhinakaran. Thank you very much, participants, for your active participation and questions. I really appreciate the team which has been there today. Highly technical and knowledgeable. I'm sure
yes,
it's a fantastic team that you have put together, sir.
Almost 600 people have come online, and constantly around 400 people were constantly
fantastic. It's been a pleasure to interact with all of you. It's an honor to. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. And Chinese Technologies eagerly waiting to have a collaboration with you.
Thank you.
Great. And thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And
thank you. I would definitely welcome ongoing research. And Dr. Dhinakaran again was suggesting that we can even look at industry-linked papers and research and publication, other things. Yes, based on an NDA and based on final approval from our management in terms of what can be revealed to the public, we can look at those opportunities also. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll meet some other occasion, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Dear participant, thank you so much. There is a very good lesson on lecture on digital radiography. It can be used in different applications. The researchers, those who are interested, you can contact him directly, and you can contact me also if you have any of these things, and for joint cooperation, any joint projects. And SAR is ready to help you. I mean, Karthi and SAR is ready to help you in all the way. So you can contact him directly also for any help. And so Chinese Technology is taking very good effort during this pandemic period. And tomorrow and day after tomorrow, that is 25 and 26, 2 days international seminar is being carried out on artificial intelligence and model-based studies, which is going to be handled by the except members of MATLAB and some other researchers from the industry. So there is a 2 days international seminar which is conducted freely. So those who want to register for that, you can go out of the registration. The registration details are available in the website of Chennai Institute of Technology, and as well as now I will share the chat group also the link for registration. That is going to be conducted tomorrow and day after tomorrow. And in the next week, from 29 to 29 6 2022, 3/7 2020, an excellent faculty development program is being conducted by Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department on current tense on electrical engineering. So this will not only be useful for the faculty members, this will be highly useful for the researchers and students community. Those who want to go for registration, you can see our link in our college website, and you can go out of the registration process. So eminent personalities from Research Institute and the faculties from NITs and IITs have been called to share their expertise in this wonderful faculty program, which is going to be conducted on 29/6/2022, 3/7/2020. And also between 6/7/2020 to 10/7/2020, and a very good program is going to be conducted by the mechatronics department, and various concepts. This is a 1 week faculty development program conducted by mechatronics department. So eminent professors from IITs, NITs, and research organizations are being called to share their knowledge. So those who want to register for the particular workshop, you can go out of the registration that is being circulated in the social media and college websites. So you can go for registration also. And so different aspects of mechatronics, sensor, transducers, smart manufacturing will be discussed on the 1 week faculty development programs. So you can go for the registration. And for the mechanical, civil, and non-circuit branch faculty members and students and research communities, the excellent lecture series is being arranged. Soon the registration will be open. Most probably that may be conducted, maybe started on 1st July. So there is a 10 hours webinar series, 1 hour per day. So it will go for 10 days. The webinar title will be on mechanical behavior of materials and characterization of materials, which is excellent topic. So an eminent professor is going to handle this topic. Soon the advertisement will be unrolled. Those who want to register for that, also you can go for registration. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for your participation. So we'll meet in some other webinar on tomorrow. And as I said, so no feedback form will be sent. So please, when you are entering your name in the what we call webinar jam applications, correctly give your name in the either in the first name, or split your name in the first name and last name and give it. Okay. So don't give the name just like that. Simply you are filling your initial, then your certificate will be filled only on initials. Okay. So we cannot imagine your names and we cannot print on certificates. So kindly fill your name correctly. So even today also I have observed so many of you filled your certificate. So name for the certificate is the wrong name. Okay. So Muttu. So you have come filled in a different way. So the certificate will also be come in the different name. Okay. So please take care of filling your names in correct way. And thank you so much. Your certificate and feedback form will be reached within tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your participation. We'll meet by tomorrow. Thank you so much.